Mr. Cliff Richards.
Hi, how nice to meet you.
Thank you. Sit.
I'm looking at the eyebrows.
Do you like the eyebrows?
Yeah, they're great. I have trouble with my eyebrows. When I see some of these old photographs, I had really good eyebrows, but I'm going bald in the eyebrows.
Well, we can help you if you can stay after the show.
I certainly can.
I have to tell you that there's so many of your fans here, and everybody that heard you were coming, when I would mention you, all said the same thing. Oh, he's so good looking, he's so cute, he's so handsome.
You know, you don't embarrass me even though it's true.
You have an extraordinary track record, and I spent yesterday listening to your tape, and you did this wonderful song with Sarah Brightman. Brightman, sorry,
Yeah.
Sarah. From The Phantom.
Yes, that's right. Well, I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber was in the planning stages of his show, and, you know, he's quite a clever guy. What he does, he often gets other people to record songs that, so most of the shows have at least one massive hit. And he phoned up and said, I've got this song, would you be interested? So I said, well, I'd love to hear it. And I heard it, and I thought, well, it does sound like a hit, you know. And I think to myself, if anybody's going to have a hit, I hope it's me. So, and the chance to sing with someone like Sarah, who is from a kind of a very mixed background. She had a pop background, but now she sings with this light operatic feel. And I thought, well, it would be interesting to work with someone who was from the legit side of things.
Did you do this before Phantom hit the stage then,
Yes.
or in conjunction with?
Just before, because...
God, it must have been a huge, huge hit.
Well, it was #3 in Britain, and he still owes me my silver disc.
Well, Andrew, just, you know.
Somebody's got it.
Yes.
I haven't. Yeah.
You're on tour now promoting your new album, and you are, I mean, you've been big for so long that I don't, you just keep, like, excuse me, I used this once today, reinventing yourself.
Well, you have to in countries where you don't live, because I don't have to reinvent myself in Great Britain, because I've kind of, I age and change in front and with people all the time. But countries like Canada remain a frustration because it is geographically so far away, so that I mean, Canadians don't like to hear this, but really, if I was to make a massive hit in the States, I could come to Canada, because then it makes it viable financially. Otherwise, I mean, I suppose I could come here just with my guitar, but things have moved so fast and so far. I want to present what I do at home, for instance, to all the public that still remember me and know what I do.
It's interesting, you know, I mean, I've talked to people who, and as you say, the geographic problem, you're a big hit in Australia doesn't mean you're going to be a big hit here, and yet it doesn't make any sense if you're such a huge hit here, that why doesn't it translate?
I don't know. I guess it's because, although you say, you know, a huge hit here, I don't know that I am. I think I've had periods of time when certain records have peaked. I mean, I can remember that I have had #1 hits here, way back in the early 60s. Then I've had things like Devil Woman came up, and We Don't Talk Anymore. But there are the gaps in between that kind of rub out the amount of success you have and in a way, balance it out. So that, I mean, I can't be sure that if I came here to do a tour, that I would have a sellout tour, which is what you need if you're going to do the kind of show I do. You know, the album I have out now...
From a Distance?
From a Distance, the event, was taken live from a show that I did at the Wembley Football Stadium. Now, that show we only ran... We opened and we closed 2 nights, 72,000 people each night, and it cost £2.4 million to stage.
Good Lord, for 2 nights?
For 2 nights,
That's $2.4 million is like 4.8 million Canadian dollars for 2 nights.
Just for 2 nights.
Of course, it's 72,000 people a night. That, you know, that's not bad.
I didn't go in it to make any profit, so that I spent all the money that could have been profit on the show.
Do you like performing for that big an audience, or is it just that it's like a different thrill, a different game than...
It's a different thrill.
Yeah.
It's a very different game, and it's not something I'd like to do weekly. I don't think I'd even like to do it annually, but as a celebration, it was a wonderful event.
It's very difficult for me to understand what you could possibly want in terms of success. You have 43 hit albums. I mean, surely, God, you can't remember all the songs.
No, you mentioned I know, but you know, it's I just went past Frank Sinatra, and I think James last is.
But my question is, you've achieved so much. What for you? What is the drive now? What is the?
Well, it's like, well, loads, because you see, it's like any art form. You never try to.
You never tire?
I don't want to retire.
No, tire of it.
Oh, do I tire? No, I don't tire of it, no. Because again, I can't speak about other people, but for me it is my art form. And you're always aware of the fact that you've got to do it all over again and be twice as good.
It's the evolution of the artist.
That's right. I have to do another one just to show that that one wasn't a fluke. And if in the process I can make it better, then that makes me gives me another challenge for the next year.
Okay, you must answer this for me when we come back then. As an artist who is evolving as a singer, what is it you're trying to prove to yourself at this point? Because surely you don't have anything to prove to us anymore. We're going to take a break. You can answer that in just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Many Canadian fans of Cliff Richard will be delighted to know that he has just released a new album on Capitol Records called From a Distance. Cliff's brand new single and video is called Silhouettes. We have this sneak preview for you. You'll notice also that Cliff went through a bit of a makeover. He had that bit of a perm, and now we've got it all cut off here. And
well, I went on holiday last August, and I thought, oh, I'll just cut my hair off and let it grow. Someone said to me, if you cut your hair, it helps it keep healthy and stuff. And so I cut it all off, and it was easy, but then I quite liked it.
This man is going to be, can we have like a real close-up of this face?
Oh, don't.
You're going to be 51 this year. You look like you're 30. You look like you're 30. Well, I know he looks like he's 30.
I told you, she said.
Now, you're
She's going around telling people. Oh, you shouldn't tell people.
But you look so wonderful. You're a fitness fan. You love to play tennis. You don't drink.
Oh, I do drink.
Oh, good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Feel better?
No, this is the common misunderstanding that people have. If you actually say you're a Christian, then I have people say to me, well, of course, you're vegetarian and you don't drink. And I'm neither of those things. The thing is, I don't drink to excess. I mean, I love a glass of wine with a meal. I think it's a perfect balance. And anyway, the Bible does say a little wine for the stomach's sake, but not a lot of wine. So yeah, I do drink. But fitness is another thing. You see, I'm not into gymnasium work. I found that really painful and also a bit boring. Whereas I really enjoy playing tennis. I love watching it. So I practice tennis. In fact, in Toronto, I had a couple of hours to spare, and I went and played tennis for an hour with a pro, and he ran me into the ground, and it's very aerobic.
That's good for it.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
I asked you, because you're an artist and evolving, what for you is the new part of you coming out in your new album? What new direction are we in?
Well, I've never really done that sort of progressive thing. You know, I've often heard people talk about, you know, we're going to progress into a new direction. I always feel that if you're true to rock and roll, it will lead you where it wants to go. You know, and then you can decide not.
It's a great line. I like that.
Well,
if you're true to rock and roll,
it'll take you where it goes, as long as you want to go in that direction. Because rock and roll is a musical culture. You see, it's not just a tempo. Rock and roll is rap. But I don't like that rap, so I don't go in that direction. Let someone else do it who can do it well. I'm into songs, so therefore, it shouldn't be surprising, if anybody is surprised, that I dig out a song like Silhouettes.
Wonderful song. There are people here who I have to share you, because if I don't, I'll get mobbed when they all leave. The president of the Cliff Richards fan club, Madam President, you have a question?
I'd like to know if you'll reconsider and come back to Canada on tour, Cliff. Please.
Oh, it's not a matter of reconsidering. It really has been a matter of financial viability. I used to have a similar problem in Australia, but I seem to be over that now. And maybe I'm going to have to do the same thing and be persistent. But the problem for me is I could come back later this year and try and build up to what I have going in Britain and in Australia. But as someone very kindly has been telling people here in Toronto, I'm 51. I want to have it happen good and quickly. And so therefore what I have to share now is the event. And I'd rather come here and do that. So since having been here now this short period of time, I'm definitely going to think more seriously about it when I get home. There must be a way for people to come and play Canada. People like me.
We have here a book and an album. This album you bought where? In Hong Kong?
Singapore.
In Singapore. Me and My Shadows.
Right.
Look at you. You look like you're 12.
I was 12.
No, you were 12.
I was a child star.
So was I.
And this is Cliff Richard Single-Minded.
Now that's not available in Canada, I don't think.
My sister. This is what I was going to say. The only information I can get about you, enough of it, is from my sister. She's been a fan. I've been a fan of yours since we were, you know. And
It is a shame. It's just that people like yourself show such impeccable taste. We have to spread this through Canada, and when the demand's big enough, I guess the information will come out more. But also, I feel my record company have been really good to me over the years, and they seem to be very excited at the moment about this whole new project, which means that I might have a resurgence of interest here, which will make life far easier when it comes to thinking about coming over, releasing books and stuff like that, which means there will be a market here.
We're going to say goodbye. We'll just continue taking questions. We'll see you next time. Will you stop drooling and look at these eyes, puppy dog eyes? You want to have a question here?
Well, what happened to your shadows?
What happened to the
Yeah.
shadows?
Oh, well, in fact, funny enough, they were just finishing a tour when I started mine this year in Britain. They have a very successful tour annually. They make a record every couple of years, which gets into the charts in Britain. Hank Marvin has moved to Perth in Australia. Bruce Welch lives in Richmond. Brian Bennett, though, has just done his last tour with the Shadows and is going to not retire but work on film scores and musical scores and things like that. Yeah.
Hi. How do you find the fans of the 60s to the 90s?
Smaller groups in those days. One of the big changes has been that rock and roll really came of age, and now people trust it for their entertainment. So I have found personally that it was very difficult to get people out on a cold, wet winter's night in Britain to see a rock and roll show. You were lucky to get 2,000 people. Now we get 12,000 a time, and in the case of the event, we filmed it in front of 72,000 people. Big changes.